Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss gender sensitization subject final mock examination along with solutions, which is prescribed by Usmania University. And your paper looks like this, and it is for the 70 marks, and the part A contains 20 marks and part B contains 50 marks. Part A contains 10 questions of 2 marks each, and each unit will have questions from it. First two questions are from unit 1, next two are from unit 2, next three are from unit 3, and next two are from unit 4, and then next last two questions are from unit 5. And part B also you will have all the questions with internal choice. So your total is 70 marks. 30 marks already you have got for your internal examination, and the final exam will be for 70 marks, and the time allocated is 3 hours. So this is let us solve the first part, that is short type answers. All the questions you have to answer, and each question carries 2 marks. And the first question is, what is gender and why should we study it? By this time you might have been all very familiar with this question. So gender is the physical and social condition of being male or female. Different societies and different cultures have different ideas of what it means to be a man or woman, masculine or feminine. We should study gender because usually people are aware of the binary or only two types of genders, that is male and female. However, there is a spectrum of genders existing. According to the internet sources, there are about 60 different terms that describe and express gender identity. The most important reason may be that the experience of gender is emotionally charged for everyone and can be a source of pleasure and positive emotions. But the experience can also be painful, confusing, and a source of many anxieties. That's why we have to study. We should study gender. You can write this answer also, students, because it is only 2 marks question. Your answers can be shorter. So we should study gender to bring about awareness, attitudinal change, and empathy. Empathy is we put ourselves in their shoes, who have the gender issues, to accept people of all genders as equals and treat them with dignity. This is so since society will stand to gain in a world in which all are equal. This is the main objective of studying gender sensitization subject. Next question. Are girls preferred over boys? Give reasons. Yes, they are preferred. In most of the countries, people do not want daughters since it means that one day they would have to pay a dowry to get her married. Consequently, they resort to female infanticide, that means killing the female children. Earlier, this practice was largely found in upper caste communities but is now spreading to all communities. The government's policy of two-child norm has made many families decide to have at least one son or at the most one daughter only. The pattern of sons inheriting property, managing land and business makes daughters less desirable and less preferable also. Next, the availability and spread of modern ultrasound technology to detect the sex of the fetus makes it easy for people to make this decision. Next question. What is the difference between CSR and OSR? Sex ratio is defined as the number of females per thousand males. It is a measure that compares the number of women and men in a particular population group. Example, children below 10 years, that is the child sex ratio or CSR, or adults above 18 years, that is overall sex ratio or OSR. In other parts of the world, sex ratio is measured by counting the number of boys or men per 100 girls or women. But in India, it is measured as number of girls or women per 1,000 boys or men. So don't get confused with these numbers, all of you. Remember them clearly and write clearly. Last time you wrote many errors in this particular answer. What are the demands of transgenders? So the demands of transgenders are a life with dignity, security for life as they face physical attacks and brutalities, inclusion into all jobs, education, housing, and all welfare measures, establishment of a statutory Hijra intersex transgender welfare board in the states, reservation in education and government jobs, and inclusion of transgender column in government competitive examinations. So next question, define invisible work and give an example. Invisible work is defined as the work which receives no payment. An example is housewife's domestic work, which is done as a mark of love and affection towards her family, but she is never paid. She works all day, but she is not paid. This is an example of invisible work. Next question, what is vetti or bonded labor? For the people of landless families and communities, work was a compulsion and drudgery. In addition to working for an income, they were forced to work in the households of landlords without pay. This was known as vetti or beggar or bonded labor. Next question. Define sexual harassment. Sexual harassment is unwelcome sexual advances, requests for sexual favors, and other verbal or physical conduct of a sexual nature. It does not refer to the casual joking and bantering of young men and women in the group. Friendly comments, declarations of interest in one another, which do not involve pain or humiliation too, do not constitute sexual harassment. They may be considered as eve teasing. So there is a difference between eve teasing and sexual harassment. Sometimes the question also can be asked as differentiate between eve teasing and sexual harassment. Eighth question, what is domestic violence? Domestic violence is the systematic method in which one partner gains power and control by instilling fear and forcing subservience. Domestic violence is not only physical abuse but emotional, economic, verbal, and sexual, and it is resorted to by their own family members. That is domestic violence. Next question, write a note on filmy romance popularly shown in films. Most films do not seem to think that women do not have individual goals and desires and that they are real persons with different tastes and aptitudes. Heroines in hero centered films are just glamour dolls with no character, intelligence, or individuality. This is the picture of the women in most of the films. They have no goals or aims in life but to win the attention of the hero. The songs also aim at misleading concepts about women. And the last question in the section A is list the achievements of Mary Kom. She is the only female to win the World Amateur Boxing Championship 6 times. The only female boxer to have won a medal in each one of the first 7 World Championships, and the only boxer to win 8 World Championship medals. She became the first Indian female boxer to win a gold medal in the Asian Games in 2014 and is the first Indian female boxer to win gold at the 2018 Commonwealth Games. She is also the only boxer to become Asian amateur boxing champion for a record of 6 times. So this is about the first part, section A, short answers, and this is your part B for 50 marks. And there is an internal choice, students, 11th AB you have to answer or 12th AB, then 13th AB or 14th AB. So first 11th and 12th questions are from Unit 1, 13 and 14 are from Unit 2, 15 and 16 are from Unit 3, 17 and 18 are from Unit 4, and 19 and 20 are from Unit 5. And each question carries 5 marks, or sometimes there may be a difference in these marks allocation depending upon the size of the answers you were going to write. Some of the answers I have not given here, students. I have already made videos for these questions, so you can watch these videos for those answers. 10th B, write the summary of the poem Girl. Jamaica Kincaid poem Girl depicts a conversation between a mother and her daughter. The main points in the short story include the mother gives beneficial but negative information to the daughter. Parents can be overbearing on their children as the society continues to impose stereotypes on children, especially girl children. Jamaica Kinsett's short story Girl provides a glimpse of the relationship between a girl and her mother. The girl represents Kinsett in her youth. The story shows that in this relationship, the mother tries to prescribe the behaviors that she deems appropriate for females. She expects and imposes these behaviors on the girl. In addition, it is apparent that the girl is constrained within these prescribed behaviors. Such constructive condition is a result of the mother's dominant behavior toward the girl. Considering Kinsett's background as well as the cultural keywords used, the short story emphasizes how certain cultural characteristics are passed on through the generations. In this regard, the story focuses on the significance of familial relationships in shaping individual behavior. So it's full of stereotypes. Next question, what is PC and PNDT? Write the salient features of PC and PNDT Act 1994. The Preconception and Prenatal Diagnostic Techniques Act of 1994 has banned prenatal sex determination, that is PNDT. Salient features of PNDT and PCR Act are, as per the PC-PNDT Act, sex selection is an act of identifying the sex of the fetus and elimination of the fetus if it is of the unwanted sex, that is not preferred, mostly the girls. Offences under this act include conducting or helping in the conduct of prenatal diagnostic technique in the unregistered units, that is hospitals or small clinics, sex selection on a man or woman, conducting PND test for any purpose other than the one mentioned in the act. There are some conditions mentioned, like any diseases are there, then that is an exception. But sale, distribution, supply, renting, etc. of any ultrasound machine or any other equipment capable of detecting sex of the fetus. Main provisions in this act are: the act provides for the prohibition of sex selection before or after conception. It regulates the use of prenatal diagnostic techniques like ultrasound and amniocentesis. That means they take the fluid from the mother's womb and test for the chromosomes. That tells whether it is a male or a female. By allowing them their use only to detect genetic abnormalities, these are the exceptions. To detect any abnormalities or metabolic disorders, chromosomal abnormalities, certain congenital malformations, hemoglobinopathies, that is some blood related disease, and sex linked disorders. These are the exceptions for conducting the test. No laboratory or center or clinic will conduct any test including the ultrasonography for the purpose of determining the sex of the fetus. No person, including the one who is conducting the procedure, as per the law, will communicate the sex of the fetus to the pregnant woman or her relatives by words, signs, or any other method. There are some signs followed by some of these technicians to indicate whether it is a girl or female. It seems in the northern side, if it is a girl, they say Jai Mata Di, or if it is a boy, they wish Jai Sri Krishna. That is a sign, it seems, students, to tell the sex of the child. Any person who puts an advertisements for prenatal and preconception sex determination facilities in the form of a notice, circular, label, wrapper, or any document, or advertises through the interior or other media in electronic or print form, or engages in any visible representation made by means of hoarding, wall painting, signal, light, sound, smoke, or gas, can be imprisoned for up to 3 years and fined up to rupees 10,000. Define the following. First, gender identity. One's innermost concept of self as male, female, a blend of both or neither. How individuals perceive themselves and what they call themselves. One's gender identity can be the same or different from their sex assigned at birth. This is called as gender identity. Means how they think about themselves. It's nothing to do with the external appearance. Gender expression. External appearance of one's gender identity, usually expressed through behavior, clothing, haircut, or voice. So sometimes, they are born as males, but they feel like wearing female clothes. Female clothes means prescribed by the society. The saris, skirts, and all. Haircut also, they want to grow long hair. Voice also changes, and which may or may not conform to socially defined behaviors. These are the socially defined behaviors. We all follow these. And characteristics typically associated with being either masculine or feminine. That is gender expression. Then gender spectrum, a way of describing gender without conforming to the gender binary. Binary means only male or female. It denotes a range of gender identities between and outside of the categories of male and female. Not only male and female, there can be transgenders or other forms of genders. Then gender continuum. Gender continuum, an extension of this gender spectrum that includes additional gender identities. The gender spectrum was formed as an extension of the limiting gender binary that viewed man and woman as the only two gender options. Gender spectrum is a linear model ranging from 100% man to 100% woman with various states in between. A continuum is multidimensional, allowing third gender, fourth gender, fifth gender, agender, or genderless options, as well as many other possibilities and combinations. It is thus a more accurate reflection of the true diversity of human genders. And gender fluidity, a mix of boy and girl. A person who is gender fluid may always feel like a mix of the two traditional genders, but may feel more man some days and more woman other days. You can have an example of Audrey Mason, a gender fluid girl. She's an award winning child actress. If you have time, you can watch about her in this link, following this link, students. Analyze the social consequences of the skewed sex ratio in the Indian society. Social consequences of the skewed sex ratio are: sociologists and demographers have identified marriage squeeze as the adverse results of this imbalance. In Rajasthan and Haryana, it has led to shortage of brides, resulting in severe marriage crisis. That means the girls' number is very low, boys' number is increasing, and it is getting difficult to find the girls. The surplus men are left unmarried due to various reasons. For instance, they are poor, uneducated, unemployed, have low status, or are disadvantaged in some way or the other. Some of us might be of the opinion that if women are less in number, they may be more valued, but this is not the case. The second problem that has been identified is increase in crime and violence due to growing number of men in society. So honor killings by bodies such as caste, panchayats are also a result of skewed sex ratio. Intercaste marriages or interreligious marriages are not tolerated as there is shortage of women in their local community. Skewed sex ratio means there is an imbalance. Number of males may be more compared to the females or vice versa. That is called as skewed sex ratio, which has an adverse effects in the society. Scholars opine that shortage of women actually reinforces traditional female roles such as reproduction, domestic work, and care work. Increased violence against women, and parents may withdraw female children from education and get them married early because of the security problem. Who is a transgender? How does society treat the transgenders? A transgender person is someone from whom the sex assigned at birth is different from what they know and feel about themselves. They have a strong physical and mental discomfort with the gender which is unambiguously assigned to them at birth. This is natural. Nobody is responsible for that. Some of them go to the next step and seek medical intervention such as surgery or hormone therapy to align the internal sense of their gender with their physical appearance. However, the cost of surgery is high and not fully risk-free. Those who undergo the realignment surgery and get the body they desire are labeled as transsexual. Next, continuation. There is much insensitivity towards the transgender person in our society. They undergo emotional and cultural turmoil due to their sexual orientation. They are denied easy access to employment, education, housing, or any other welfare measures, and most of them live in the dire poverty. Many of them earn their living as singers and dancers, and some are forced into becoming sex workers. They are physically subject to violence and abuse. Hijra is a common term that is used to describe transgender, transsexuals, cross-dressers, intersex, eunuch, and they have been victim of brutalities and severe discrimination in the society. Who is a worker? Write about unpaid family work. The 2011 census of India categorized most of the working age women as non-workers. The household chores that a woman is occupied with from dawn till late night remain invisible. However, these so-called non-workers not only take care of the needs of their family members, but some of them also extend their support by being engaged in various other enterprises like agriculture, animal husbandry, weaving, pottery, catering, family run businesses, etc., both in rural and urban areas. The irony is, this laborious effort is called unpaid family work. Though without her assistance, it would have been tough to run all these family enterprises. She hardly has any control over the family's disposable income. That is why it is unpaid family work. So, continuation. Explain the following terms with examples. Unpaid family work. Women also extend their support by being engaged in various other enterprises like agriculture, animal husbandry, weaving, pottery, catering, family run business, etc., both in rural and urban areas. The irony is, this laborious effort is called unpaid family work. Home based work. In a patriarchal society, patriarchal means male dominated society, a woman's work is hardly considered work. Yet the condition of those who work for wages but from home is better than those housewives whose labor remains unidentified and invisible. Those who earn small wages from being engaged in tailoring, embroidery, beadi, papad, agarbatti, or bangle making are home based workers who earn meager wages, means very little wages. Compared to unpaid family workers, their condition is better as they have more control over what they earn. Unpaid work. It refers to roles related to housekeeping such as cooking, feeding kids, caring, sewing, ironing, and cleaning. Household chores often remain unacknowledged, and a housewife is seen as someone who does not work. Finally, she is labeled as not working. Discuss how women have successfully made their presence felt in different areas according to National Sample Survey NSS 2010. According to the sample survey, only 11.2 crore women are earning. The following data shows the working women scenario. 7.7 crore women are engaged in agricultural work, 1.2 in tobacco industry, and 57 lakh in constructional work. Today, around 60% women are literate. Compared to 1990s in urban areas, opportunities for education is more for women. In India, there are around 25 lakh women school teachers and saleswomen, women in professional services like beauticians, and are working as nurses and other hospital staff, and 11 lakh women in government services. This is the data given by the NSS students. And this is very important. The 73rd and 74th amendments. This may be asked in short question type also. These two, 73rd and 74th amendments to the Constitution of India, provided reservations for women in the elected bodies of municipal corporations. This is very important. Last time many of you wrote wrong. It is to provide opportunity or reservations in the elected bodies of municipal corporations and gram panchayats. They are in legislative assemblies and parliament. We have successful women as CEOs and MNCs like Rekha Menon, Chairman Accenture India, Vanitha Narayanan, MD, IBM India, Chitra Ramakrishna, MD, National Stock Exchange. So this is the result of the survey. Right about Shabnam Veermani's 1996 film When Women Unite. I think all of you have watched this movie, students. I played it in the class. The story of uprising Shabnam Veermani is a documentary filmmaker and artist in residence in Srishti School of Art, Design and Technology in Bangalore since 2002. Co-founder of the Dristy Media Arts and Human Rights Collective, she has directed several documentaries, some of which have won awards. One such docudrama that she directed narrates the story of the protests through the mixture of enactment, interviews, and other footage is When Women Unite. The story of an uprising uh, uh, 1996. It provides a graphic account of the women-led anti-Arak movement. This is liquor selling, anti-Arak country liquor, kallu we call it. So anti-liquor was sold in many of the villages in Andhra Pradesh by the government itself. The government only has introduced that program called Varuna Vahini, and all the people they unite especially in the village called Dubbagunta, they all unite and they protest and they stop the selling of arak in the country. Finally, the government has to come down and heed to their request. What are the features of Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act 2005? The protection order is or committing the act of domestic violence, abetting in the commission of domestic violence, and causing violence to any person who helped the aggrieved person and provided protection from domestic violence. So these are all protection orders. They protect it. Then comes the residence order. The magistrate may also pass the residence order. Such order may have all these points, students. And the monetary relief also is given. That means the magistrate may also direct the respondent to pay monetary relief to the aggrieved person, that means the victim, for expenses incurred and losses suffered by her. Sometimes this is manipulated, students. Nowadays, many of them are using this act for their personal benefit. I have discussed it in the class, if you remember. Custody order. The magistrate may also grant the custody of a child or children to the aggrieved person. So if they have children, who should take care of the children? That is regarding the custody order. Then Queen is a heartwarming film about a girl's journey of self-discovery explained. So I think most of you have watched the Queen movie. It is about Rani Mehra, is an underconfident young woman from Delhi. Underconfident means without confidence. And 2 days prior to her wedding, her fiance Vijay tells her that he no longer wishes to marry her and he deserts her. And she ventures out into the world and she discovers herself, and the story goes. She meets their friends, three friends, whom first she is doubtful, skeptical, and by then she becomes very friendly with them, and finally she discovers herself, and then eventually the time comes for her to bid an emotional farewell to Vijayalakshmi and board the train for Amsterdam. She visits Amsterdam and she really encounters all types of experiences over there, and finally she goes back to Delhi to her place, and with a totally transformed personality. She becomes very very confident, and finally back in Delhi, Rani visits Vijay, the fiance, at his home. Vijay thinks that she has decided to forgive him. Instead, Rani hands him her engagement ring, and after saying thank you, she walks away with a smile on her face. That means she discovered herself. That is about your paper, students. And if you have any queries, don't hesitate to put in the comment section. All the very best for your examination. And yes, take care of yourself. Let's meet up in the next video. Thanks for watching, and if this tutorial had made sense, please like, share, and do not forget to subscribe. That means a lot for me. Okay, bye bye for now, and let's meet up in the next video. Bye, take care.